The Carnival Triumph was a cruise ship that gained notoriety in 2013 when an engine fire left the vessel stranded in the Gulf of Mexico. Passengers were left without power, running water, and working toilets, leading to unsanitary conditions on board. The incident was dubbed the Poop Cruise by the media and is considered one of the worst cruises in the history of the cruise industry. The fire broke out on February 10, 2013 and left the ship without propulsion, leaving it adrift in the Gulf of Mexico. The U.S. Coast Guard, along with other vessels, were able to tow the ship to Mobile, Alabama, where it arrived on February 14th. A total of 4,000 passengers and crew members were on board at the time of the incident. The conditions on board were described as uncomfortable, with no air conditioning, limited lighting, and overflowing toilets. The passengers were provided with food and water, but the overall experience was far from pleasant. The incident prompted widespread criticism of the cruise line and the industry as a whole, with many calling for increased safety measures and better emergency response planning. It also led to the launch of multiple investigations, lawsuits, and the implementation of new safety regulations. Overall, the Carnival Triumph's incident showed the importance of the readiness of cruise ships and the need to address issues such as propulsion and sewage management. It also serves as a reminder of the importance of being prepared for emergencies and the need to have a robust emergency response plan in place. Engine room fire strands passengers. On February 10, 2013, a fire broke out in the aft engine room of the ship Carnival Triumph, which resulted in the ship losing power as well as its ability to go forward. Raw sewage overflowed into passenger deck areas, posing a significant threat to passengers' health and creating an even more dangerous situation. Because of this, the event that took place was referred to in the media as the Poop Cruise. At first, it had been proposed that the ship would be towed to the port of Progreso, Mexico. On the other hand, because of the currents, it had been rerouted to Mobile, Alabama, in order to dock there. This wasn't the first time that an engine room fire caused a loss of power on a ship controlled by Carnival. Similar occurrences occurred on the Tropical in 1999, the Carnival Splendor in 2010, and the Costa Alegra, which is owned by a Carnival subsidiary, in 2012. Rescue and relief. By the next day, February 11th, the emergency generators on the ship were able to restore some of the ship's functions. On the night of the incident, supplies were brought over from the Carnival Elation ship. The Carnival Legend ship arrived on the scene on February 11th at 3 p.m. to transfer more food and water, and to take on a passenger in need of dialysis treatment to be transported to Cozumel. Additionally, the Carnival Conquest ship that was en route to Montego Bay, Jamaica from New Orleans, stopped and delivered food and supplies during the afternoon and on the evening of February 11, 2013. Canceled tour. In the aftermath of the incident, the sailings on Carnival Triumph were canceled until April 13th. After this, the company announced a first phase of a fleet-wide review, which included the installation of backup generator systems on its ships. To provide time for the installation of the generators, an additional 10 voyages were canceled through June 3rd. On February 13th, 2 tugboats were towing the ship toward port, with a third tugboat arriving later in the evening. The plan was to reach the port of Mobile by early afternoon on the 14th, but strong winds delayed the expected arrival time. Eventually, 4 tugboats were towing the ship, with a 5th one on standby. Due to a broken tow line, the arrival was further delayed. Eventually, the ship docked at 9:20 p.m. Investigation. An incident investigation was launched following the fire incident involving the ship Carnival Triumph by Bahamas Maritime Authority, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the National Transportation Safety Board. Bahamas Maritime Authority being the lead agency, as the ship was Bahamian flagged. The initial report from the investigators on the 18th of February said that the fire had been caused by a leak in a flexible fuel oil return line from the No. 6 diesel engine, which enabled the fuel to spill onto a hot surface and ignite. Unresolved deficiency. 2 weeks before the engine room fire on the ship Carnival Triumph, the ship had experienced propulsion issues that had caused it to return 5 hours late to its home port of Galveston on January 28, 2013. This caused a delay in the departure for the next cruise, from 2:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., and also resulted in the cancellation of a scheduled stop in Cozumel due to the ship's decreased speed. During this time, the ship underwent a port state control inspection by the Texas City, Texas U.S. Coast Guard Marine Safety Unit, which revealed a problem with the high-voltage connection box, one of the ship's generators that caused damage to cables inside the box, a deficiency under the 50 AC Solus 2009 Chapter 1 Regulation 11. A directive with a compliance deadline of February 27, 2013, was issued following the inspection, which required that the condition of the ship and its equipment must be kept in compliance with regulations to ensure the ship and its passengers would be safe at sea. However, the information from the Coast Guard Marine Safety and Law Enforcement System revealed that this deficiency was still unresolved at the time of the subsequent fire and loss of power while at sea on February 10th. This resulted in the ship's name being changed from Carnival Triumph to Carnival Sunrise. Conclusion: passengers on board the ship endured unsanitary conditions and limited access to food and water for several days. The cause of the incident was later determined to be a malfunction in the ship's propulsion system. The incident received widespread media coverage and was heavily criticized by passengers, many of whom experienced extreme discomfort and inconvenience. It also led to several lawsuits and a significant loss of reputation for the Carnival Corporation. The company apologized for the incident and implemented various changes to improve their operation and response to similar situations in the future. They also offered refunds or vouchers for future cruises to all the passengers on the trip. The incident serves as a reminder of the importance of proper maintenance and safety measures for large ships and the importance of being prepared for unexpected events. It also shows the need for good crisis management protocol that can minimize harm to passengers and the reputation of the company. So, there you have it. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos. Until next time.